You didn't like that, did you?
No, I thought it was a private joke. Sorry.
How old were you when you first rode a bike?
8 years of age. I say that in cycling terms, 8 years of age. But I think I was on a bike from childhood, really, BMX. There is a photo of me somewhere with the bike with stabilisers on. I don't know what age that was, 3 maybe, BMX at 4, that kind of thing.
How many bikes do you currently own?
All in, collection, personal, kids, wives, 50.
Riding on your own or in a group?
I think it depends what group you're in. There's nothing like riding with a bunch of mates, you know, and kind of having a laugh and stopping and doing all that sort of stuff. But I used to, not all the time, but I do enjoy riding on my own. I think it's a real sense of freedom and stuff. And that was my first love getting into cycling, was realising that I could go anywhere on this bike from Kilburn and get out of where I was growing up, you know, and kind of venture a bit further each day and turn around and get back. And so that was the initial kind of attraction of it, the freedom it gave you.
Where is your favourite place to ride?
I don't know, actually. I've never really thought of it. I used to like Mallorca, but it was a bit untapped before Mallorca. Now everyone goes to Mallorca, you know, it's a bit of a scale electrics track now for cyclists. So.
Go-to on-bike snack?
That's quite a hard one, actually, because I never really enjoyed race bars or gels and all that sort of stuff. But whenever we were in Belgium, they used to go to the bakery and come back with rice cakes, rice tarts. They would just sell them for the general public, and they'd cut them up. And quite often, or frangipans you quite often get in Belgium, but proper ones, not like Mr. Kipling jobs from the spa, you know, like proper baked that morning. So they were always a kind of a welcome change to the kind of bars and energy gels and all that sort of stuff.
What is your most memorable ride or race?
Actually, coming past here in the 2012 Olympics, I think that was still, just even driving over the bridge just back to the shop today, doing that right round the roundabout with the pub on the left, and just remembering how deep the crowds were that day was, I'll never forget that. It's one of the only memories I have from that day, really, but only because I got goosebumps. It was 5 or 6K to go from this point, and just realised the enormity of, wow, I was taken aback by it. That far into the race, you know, with sort of 10 minutes to go. So.
Flat and long ride or short and hilly?
I quite like climbing, but at my own pace, not to suffer or be in pain, but you know, there's nothing like climbing a beautiful climb, either in the Alps or in Mallorca or at home when the weather's good and you're not chasing anyone. It's the worst place to be in the world when you're chasing someone and you're suffering, but at your own pace, when you're fit and you can get up it and it's not a chore to get up it, I think that's it's a very nice thing.
What would you have been if you hadn't been a cyclist?
I would have liked to have been a chef. I did my work experience at the Cumberland Hotel at Marble Arch in the kitchens, and I think that was the only other thing that kind of interests me from an aspirational point of view.
What is your favourite hobby outside of cycling?
Changing plugs, fuses in plugs, to be honest. My granddad was an electrician with the LEB, man and boy, you know, trade. So I kind of learned how to be an electrician from him. I learned how to change fuses in plugs, you know, change wiring. I can wire anything up now just from learning from him, kind of the trade of being an electrician. So
that's a hell of a hobby.
I know, but
What's
I quite enjoyed, you know, taking an old plug apart and changing the fuse or changing a plug, you know, or
track or road?
Track.
Why?
It was my first love. Went to Herne Hill as a kid, 8 years of age, then they shut it to renovate it, but then 12 properly when I fell in love with it. That's all I wanted to do, you know, get to an Olympic Games riding the track. And the road became a pastime, became a way of earning money. If you're good enough on the track, you know, that engine that you start with will transfer to the road if you can transfer it, but that's why I always went back to the track and finished there.
Your biggest inspiration, either cycling or non-cycling?
Sean Yates and probably Johan Museeuw. As a teenager, in really influential years of being inspired by people. You know, timing's everything when you're a teenager, you know, and people have a real impact on you and a real influence on you. Chris Boardman, another one really. So from 12 years of age, Boardman, Yates, right through those teenage years, Museeuw, Indurain, which I've obviously discussed a lot in recent months, but definitely that teenage, Lance Armstrong. Can we say that in Sigma Sport?
Cobbles or climbs?
Cobbles, the history of cobbles. You know, people don't make cobbled roads anymore, so it comes part and parcel of cycling. We wouldn't have cobbled roads now, particularly in northern France, if they didn't have a bike race there. They'd all be gone now. Cycling's helped maintain the heritage of how we used to get around on roads and things. So, you know, London was all cobbled at one time, but there's no signs of them anymore other than the odd mews and things. So,
final question. Socks under or over leg warmers?
under. Yeah.
Or no socks?
Well, it depends what you're doing, but definitely under if you've got both.